Well, welcome to Buckets, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Little Thanksgiving buckets for you there, if you choose to celebrate. This is your Tuesday Best Bets episode. This is going to be the last show of the week, by the way. We'll be done for the week, taking off for the holiday. We'll be back on Monday with the Future Jays, talking all things from the week. We'll get you caught up on everything, in-season tournament, best bets for Monday, etc. Hope you guys have a safe and healthy holiday. But I know that you're also going to be betting NBA. And to do that, we're going to bring on J Money. You can find him on Twitter at JMoneyIsMoney and in the Action Network app. And Brian Fonseca, you know him from all over the place, 5 Reason Sports, as well as all of our coverage on both NBA and boxing here at the Action Network. Brian Fonseca, glad to have you guys on with me. Reminder, everything we talk about can be found in the award-winning Action Network app. You want to download it. You want to go do it right now. You can track all those bets. We got like NFL and college games and college basketball and the Maui thing with college basketball and NBA tournament. There's so much stuff. You're going to want to track it. Do it in the Action Network app. You can also check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/The Action Network. And that will get you set for everything that you want to know about everything, all of our live shows, all sorts of great content on youtube.com/The Action Network. All right, let's get to Tuesday's best bets in the National Basketball Association. Brian Fonseca, what's your best bet for Tuesday?
DeAndre Hunter over 18.5 PRA against the Indiana Pacers.
Okay. Jay Money, what are your best bets for Tuesday?
Give me the Toronto Raptors plus the 1.5.
Okay. I'm going to go with Magic Raptors under 216.5. I'm going to go with Cavs Sixers over 220. I'm going to go with the Indiana Pacers plus 3.5. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers minus 8. And we're going to have to talk about Hawks Pacers because I think on the total, I think I'm going to want the over, but we're going to have to talk about it. Let's start with that game because I think it's the most interesting game on the board. Hawks and Pacers. Pacers with a real chance to make the in-season tournament, and I think they really do want to win this game. Brian, you like DeAndre Hunter in this spot. What do you like about this as far as a bounce back spot for DeAndre Hunter's PRA?
The over-under for this game is 250. So we can start there. DeAndre Hunter has not been getting his overs lately. He's actually been struggling from the field a lot. But last game, he had 9 points and a rebound at halftime and was ejected very early on in the third quarter because of a bad foul call that he was arguing against Philadelphia 76ers. So probably on his way to get that over, but did not. But I do think that this is a good get-right spot for him. He's only gotten this over once in 7 games and is somebody who can play better than he has been, quite frankly. And sort of playing against the Indiana Pacers, that would make a lot of sense for a get-right game for DeAndre Hunter, who's been struggling from the field. You're going to have a lot of pace. You're going to have a lot of offense, not a lot of defense, not a lot of resistance. So he should be able to find his shots effectively. And ultimately, I think he can produce in a game like this to sort of get his rhythm going back again.
Okay. Look, I have this, the total on this game is it opened in the 240s and immediately got bet up. It's currently sitting at 250.5. Guess, Jay.
Oh,
I want you to guess what I have this number projected at. Guess.
265.
Brian, what's your guess?
258.
268.5 points is what I got this game projected at. Look, I mean, you know, the numbers keep going up on the Hawks. They keep going up, and this team winds up and it's still are on the Pacers, and they still keep going over consistently. Pacers overs this season are 11-1 with a clearance of 13.9 points. Think about that. Like, we are 12 games into the season, and they are averaging 14 points over the total on these games. I don't think that they can get to a high enough number. I think it's exponential when we look in these types of spots. The question, I think, is Carlisle lit them up for their defense. Like, lit them up after that loss the other night to the Magic. Just burn them to a crisp in the postgame. And then, you know, they'll be in their face about it. Hawks are 7-4-1 to the over as well. I just kind of think that in this type of game, regardless of what your intentions are, I don't think either team is equipped to stop one another. I don't think either team can stop one another, Jay. So I don't think I'm not going to put I'm going to put a small, like a fraction of a unit play on it, but I am going to play the over on this game. I still think at 250 it's low.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I can't bet unders with the Pacers. I mean, you look at the way that they run their pace. I mean, they can put up 20 points in 3 minutes alone themselves. So it's really hard to bet an under at this point. At this point total, I mean, I'd like to say there's value on the under. Everybody knows that they're 11-1 to the over, so they're going to keep just putting. I mean, you might see 255s at some point, but in this particular game, in the bounce back spot, they were down 40 versus the Magic. If they're gonna bring it, that means they have to bring it on a defensive end, in my opinion. I'd lean first quarter under, but as the game goes on, I mean things could really get crazy. But I think at least to start, the Pacers will be at least a little locked in on the defensive end, but it still might be enough. I mean, I can't bet it. I'll tell you straight up.
One reason I'm not sure I love it for you, Brian, just based off of, obviously if the Pacers score, then there's fewer rebounds. If the Pacers score, the Hawks are going against a set defense, which could slow things down. And I do like Indiana here. I like Indiana plus 3.5. I don't understand. I get it because the Hawks are home and the books are, again, not going to want to move significantly off of the preseason power rating to after 12 games. And I get that. And they've been skeptical. There's numbers in the market that are still soft on the Pacers over under. I bet them again. But look, I have this projected. The Hawks are 1-5 at home ATS. They're 1-5 this season against the spread at home. I have this with a normalized home court. If we ignore the fact that the Hawks have been bad at home, they face some tough teams. Even on normalized home court, I still have this Pacers -2. I think the Pacers should be favored on the road versus the Hawks. I legitimately think that they are that much better of a team. I think the Hawks have been middling. I think the Hawks can maybe get there, but with this is not. I guess here's the thing. If you told me I could bet Pacers in January with the same players available, I wouldn't want it. If I told me I could bet it in March, I wouldn't want it. But right now, in this spot, with how Indiana's playing right now, Brian, I think the Pacers are the side at plus 3.5.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think it's just going to be so much of a free for all offensively that in order to get there, guys are going to have to put up points. And I think for DeAndre Hunter in particular, I'm watching his season production and I'm like, okay, he's not this. I actually expected him to go a little bit in the other direction where he's sort of progressed this year. And I don't think that's who he is as a player. So it's more of a bet on dude, you have to snap out of this slump at some point. And it looked like he was going to again against the 76ers, a better defensive team. And it just wasn't the case because of the ejection. So it's really a bet on, okay, you're going to get soft defense here. Can you hit your shots? I was originally looking at points just for DeAndre Hunter at 13.5. But there was just better value to go over the 18.5 PRA. And I do think that, when he has it going, he'll get you 5 rebounds, maybe an assist or 2. So there's a bet on that as well. Again, not something that I love, but looking at the board tonight, I was like, man, I'm going to buy low on DeAndre Hunter because there's no way that he can continue doing this. Otherwise, we're going to start seeing him at 13.5 PRA, not just points, and he'll be riding the bench because the Atlanta Hawks are in a position where even though they're not that good, I don't think, or they're not as good to me as some people may project them. I think that they're in a position where they feel like they have to win or do some winning right now. And DeAndre Hunter, I think for now is part of those plans, but we'll see if his play continues, if that's going to continue to be the case.
All right, let's go to the exact opposite of this game. The exact opposite of Pacers versus Hawks is Raptors versus Magic. Jay, I'm surprised a little bit here. I think we're going to go a little head-to-head here. I'm not going to bet the Magic, but if I was going to bet, I'd be betting Orlando. Why do you like Toronto on the road as a 1.5 point dog versus the Magic?
Well, don't be scared to bet what you absolutely love. That's what I say. I mean, you don't have to listen to me, but I am on the Raptors here. It's not the greatest of cards, but of the 5 games, this is my best bet. Raptors plus a 1.5, and I like the way the direction that it's going as well. The line was at 2.5. It's come down to 1.5. Even -1's popping up as well. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if Fultz is ruled out in this game. Wouldn't be surprised the Raptors to close the favorite here, but I do like the matchup. Just basketball wise, I like the matchup for the for the Raptors in this game. They match up really well. They played the Celtics really tough in their only one tournament game. They only lost that game by 3 points. I know it's at the house, but if you could play the Celtics that tight, that means that they're really caring. Obviously, with a new coach as well, they care about this in-season tournament here. So this is the Magic's first game off of a 4-game road trip as well. They played 4 games in 6 nights, all on the road. This is their first game back at the house. 7 of their last 8 games have been in a new arena as well. So the only caveat to that is that they one of those were back to back in Chicago. If it weren't for that, it'd be the last 8 games in a new arena here. So I see a Magic to have a letdown coming off a basically perfect game in Indiana, and I think the Raptors are starting to play a lot better offensively, and we know that they always play defense as well. So the fact that they're really starting to get into their offensive groove, I actually think they win this game. Like, I think they take the Magic to Smack City in this one. Give me the Raptors plus the 1.5. They should close as the favorite in this game.
I don't deny that they're probably gonna take money, because I think that the market tends to move towards Toronto. I don't necessarily know that I think that's skating on a lot of reputation, and it's not necessarily updated with like who this team is. I got a trend for you here. How about this one? Since the start of last season, the Raptors as a road favorite are 5-13 against the spread at 28%. They are 0-1 this season as I'm sorry, they are 1-0 because they were facing the Spurs. That's the only time that they've been a favorite this season on the road. The other thing I would say is, if we really kind of looked at how these games have gone, the Celtics game is a division rivalry. They're going to get up for that more than they're going to get up for almost any other game. Like, we know that they're going to get up for the Celtics games, right? Like, they faced them a bunch. They know how to compete with those teams, etc. But if we look at the rest of these teams where they've gotten wins, they got the Wolves on opening night. That's a good win, but it's at home on opening night. Okay. They get the Bucks. With the Bucks, their defense is pretty shitty this year. It's just not very good. Maybe it'll get better, but right now it's not very good. Definitely wasn't in October when they beat them. The Spurs, garbage defense. The Mavericks, garbage defense. And then they covered versus the Celtics. Great defense, number 1 in the league. But again, high motivation spot. And the Pistons, one of the worst teams in the league. My problem here is, I'm just like, Orlando has proven they're competent. Like, they've proven that they're a pretty decent team. Even missing Fultz, even missing Wendell Carter Jr., they're pretty decent. Like, they compete well. The defense in particular is solid. If you don't let the Raptors score easy, they can't score at all. Like, they got nothing. And this is going to be a rock fight, which is why probably like the numbers, right? Like, this is a coin flip game effectively. It's pretty close to a coin flip game here. I just can't get to a spot where at home Orlando shouldn't be more than a 1.5 favorite. Now, am I interested in betting that? No, but like, for me, it'd be Magic or nothing. Like, I don't know why you want this Toronto team against a good defense on the road, given what we've seen from how their half-court offense. Like, their half-court offense is miserable a lot of the time, Jay.
You know me, Matt. You can't talk me off. I'm on the Raptors. I think they win this shit. I think they win this by double digits. This is more of a spot play, but I do like the way that they match up versus the Magic, and just how they're like. I think the Magic are going to be the team that really struggles to score in this particular spot. But first game home off a 4-game road trip, I don't think you see the Magic looking like they've looked in recent games.
Yeah, the numbers on that are really mixed. I've been trying to find like the trend for when they come off that road trip, and it's been really inconsistent, especially in recent years. It's been inconsistent. Raptors are 10th in adjusted schedule defensive rating. The Orlando Magic are number 3. So there is one team that is a much better defensive team, but we'll see. Maybe you're right, because maybe it's just like the Magic can't score on the good Raptors defense, and they just run and they get buckets. I will say I haven't liked the way they've matched up. Last season they went 2-2 against the Magic, straight up in ATS. The Raptors won both of them at home. They lost and didn't cover in both of them on the road. So interesting spot there. A couple other ones for you. I like Cavs Sixers over 220. Neither one of these defenses is really where it should be yet. Like, they're just not as good defensively as maybe they should be. At this point in the season, it's not that they're not going to be good defenses, but Cleveland's 4th, but it's still kind of prone to these little letdowns where they let teams put up some points. They had a really great performance. It's also a letdown spot, I think, for the defense, coming off of a good win versus defending champs in the Nuggets the other night. Philly is 6th, so I understand why this number is that low. But both these offenses are really excellent too. The Cavs are actually 13th in offense, but they're on the rise since Darius Garland and Jared Allen got back. That obviously helps them a ton. And the Sixers have the 3rd best offense. So I think this is going to be a case of good offense beats good defense. I'll take the over at a pretty low number there at 220. And then the final one, I'll take the Los Angeles Lakers -8. This Jazz team, I just think, letdown spot coming off of that, heartbreaker loss to the Suns. Tough spot there. this Jazz team, I think, has had a great run in the tournament. This is basically for the group. I think the Lakers actually want to win this. I don't know why, but I think the Lakers want to win this. So, Brian, I'm on Lakers -8 versus the Jazz. Am I laying too many points?
No, because I was looking at that as well, and that's something that I like. I mean, I don't love this Laker team, but I don't love this Jazz team either. And I was also looking at Suns Blazers. Not necessarily that the Suns, getting -13, but the over under being 225, and I feel like that could be an under because Portland just can't score sometimes. Sort of my same concern as we were having about the Magic and Magic and Raptors earlier.
Oh.
I kind of want the Blazers. Kind of want the Blazers plus the 13.
Me too. Me
It's a
too,
lot of
man.
Yeah,
You know I
yeah.
love I love the Suns. But no, I mean, and Brogdon being upgraded to questionable, I actually lean Blazers at plus 13.5. It's way too many points to lay with the Suns, who really just kind of want to win the game.
But do you guys think it'll be an over? It's sort of because for me, I'm not even looking at -13 plus 13 as much as I'm looking at the over under, because 225, I mean, in the modern NBA is a low number, but that's the case because the Blazers struggle offensively, and also the Suns. Their Suns offense can kind of come and go a little bit. Like they can score, but
you know what you look at in this game? You look for DeAndre Ayton props. You're the prop guy, Brian. But going back to Phoenix in this one, he's going to have a little extra up his sleeve in this one, which could propel the Blazers to cover the spread. But even more than that, DeAndre Ayton, he'll have a chip on his shoulder coming into Phoenix here.
Yeah, I've got the Blazers projected at 91 points in this game, so I've got them pretty bad on the offensive end. So I can't get in there on the over. I lean a little bit
betting
towards
the under.
this one.
Ayton rebound prop, by the way, over under 9.5.
That's a good
which I kind of like that for this game.
Yeah. I like points and rebounds.
No.
Points and rebounds.
All right, that's gonna do it for Buckets. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. Have a great holiday week if you celebrate. Stay safe out there. Make sure to check out the Action Network app and our YouTube channel. My thanks to David Payne and our producers, as well as our video guys getting this up, including Hutton Jackson over on youtube.com/the Action Network. You can follow Brian Fonseca and Jay Money in the Action Network app. We'll see you guys again next week. Thanks for joining us. Till then, let's get buckets.